I didn't understand this artwork when it happened. And I've said this many times publicly. And I'm kind of proud of my ignorance. But it's typical, there's art that you get immediately, and then there's art that you don't get immediately, and some of the stuff that you get will be with you forever. Some of it will wear out because of this immediate access that you got, and then some of the stuff that you don't get will pester you and follow you around and invite scrutiny.
Art doesn't need to be knowledge in order to have a function.
Yeah.
So even if it's not a form of knowledge, even though you can make that case, let's say it isn't, it still has functionality, it still has a use.
But it has to do with the fact that it doesn't let itself be understood immediately. And maybe it's also not the point in a way. And of course, we taught an exhibition, we taught a course that, tries to figure out how art and knowledge relate. And, and the conclusion was perhaps that art relates more closely to ignorance than knowledge.
Well, we did three things. We built a project together, we built a class together. Yeah. What else did we do?
Well, the Logan Center
together.
Project.
Yeah.
I did declamation, and we made a book.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Not
That's
together
true.
though. You're the subject of it.
Right.
No, you're the object.
Yeah.
So, it's a little bit like we're trees. They talk to each other, but just over such vast stretches of time that we can't really hear. I feel like we're trees, like we're like planted each in this little patch of land. And I mean, this is something that as a curator I really like doing. I'm not that interested. This is just kind of an aside on curatorial practice. I'm not one to discover. It's not my forte. I've tried it as a curator. I like to work with artists who've kind of been through the ringer a bit, who know what it's like. The Gray Center Fellowship was like a long stop in a train station where we got to kind of replenish. Seeing the power of the Whispering campaign take hold of the imagination in Kassel, where I lived, just waking up one day in my house in Kassel and hearing that fucking car underneath my window and like, shit, that thing really works. It's a singularly compelling artwork. And of course I've talked about this in public again, like how I didn't understand why you wanted to pursue this chimerical figure, but we of course now know how it delivered. And
it's very difficult to manage that work. I guess artists talk about management, I'm not sure, maybe it sounds too businesslike, but truth is that, I don't live in Europe and I don't live in two countries, do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't speak those languages and I don't know their histories very well, and you have to sit down and take them seriously and learn if you want to do work that somehow clumsily, ignorantly, wants to travel in the time of that place, so, it was hard. This is the first time that an exhibition has really done this on this scale. No one's attempted this, and you can see why, just on the scale of making your own work. I mean, God knows what the curators were going through, and they had to manage these works in these cities. So I had to build the same work, but a work of a certain really large scale in two different countries, and I had to do it back to back and sometimes overlapping. There's a certain set of interrelationships between Greece, right, and with Germany. or Athens and Kassel, let's say, between those two cultures. And they would talk to me about that, the curators. And they would talk about the history of different borrowings, and you can go to different countries and see the vestiges of one and the other. And I wanted to honor that. That's why I did the same project in both countries, to see how it would change. And electricity is different in Athens than it is in Germany. It just is. I mean, the infrastructure is not the same.
To kind of return to the experience of teaching, which we did that, January to March 2018. It's 2 years ago. And I now teach myself here at the, our history department at the university. And in fact, it was amazing to be part of that classroom and see you teach, really. For me, one of the great takeaways of teaching our class together was to, witness your pedagogical prowess. So for me, this was a great learning experience to teach with you.